Dear students, do you think tobacco should be sold? Really? I mean, you go into a shop these days and you have to know what you want. I don't think that you can browse for tobacco products because they're behind a great wall. The British government has taken extensive steps to control the distribution of tobacco, and certainly we know that they have the most extensive controls at the border because you can only import 200 cigarettes. Someone told me that's a carton or something like that. So should you sell cigarettes? We know that cigarettes harm. We know that tobacco contains carcinogens, chemicals that will make your body produce cancer, bad cancers in many different parts of your body, from throat cancer to lung cancer to it spreads anywhere. Who knows? And we know that there is an epidemic of cancer in our world now. We know that there are widespread rates of cancer all around the world. So it's a human problem. And of course, we know, unfortunately, that there are many things that we do to exacerbate it. One of which is, put pesticides all around us, including in our food chain. But the other of which is tobacco. Now, how much does tobacco cost? It's heavily taxed, and the bulk of the price of tobacco that consumers have is due to those taxes, because it's argued that the health consequences of tobacco are felt by the entire society. In this society, we have a National Health Service, and so we know directly that our taxes do go towards sustaining the health of our population. Now, we make different choices. We make different choices in how we live. Do we exercise or not? Are we sedentary? We make different choices in how we eat. And now we're asking, what are we going to do about tobacco? We know that it's harmful to us, but the question that I'm asking is not that of how to control it. We've gone through measures of controlling it. And in the seminar, you looked at the struggle that tobacco companies are waging all around the world. And as we said, they've lost here in Britain because all tobacco products that are sold in those shops are sold in that putrid green, the ugliest color in the world. But it's not that every government can withstand Philip Morris. Philip Morris, as you know, is a company based in my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, along with the top three tobacco makers in the world. They sell a product that they know harms us. And in the 90s, in the late 80s and 90s, when the United States government became more aggressive about controlling access to tobacco and also secondhand smoke, and that was a term that only we got to know then, well, lo and behold, the factory on Broadway in the west end of Louisville closed down. Philip Morris, they bought Kraft. They said, we need to diversify our products. You know, Kraft food? Because they knew that cigarettes was a losing battle. But they didn't just stop there. They didn't just shrink and diversify. They went to Asia. They went to Africa. They went to Latin America. And they dug in deeper. And those governments couldn't then and won't now be able to stave off those companies who say that putting our product, the iconic Marlboro brand or Benson and Hedges, the Virginia Girl, if you put those in putrid green, you're destroying our brand and you're destroying our freedom of speech. Now, in the United States, that is an argument that they're winning. Now, again, governments are fighting on other fronts. Education and smoking is on the decline and has been in quite, since quite a while. But what about in other parts of the world where there are new booming consumers, where corporate governance is weaker and not yet had, decades of sinking in its teeth against these sorts of corporate issues? What do we do then? When The Economist even says in its article, wow, the GDP of this West African country is trumped by the value, the revenue of this one company. Not the value of the company, but just its revenue alone. And so we have to say who's more powerful in this instance, because when they go to Davos, the one with the bigger checkbook most certainly has the greater influence on policy, and that's what's unfortunate. But my question is still to you this: why is tobacco sold it all? Why is it allowed to be sold? If it were discovered today, could you just freely sell it? These are questions that you can ask yourself, including in the assessments, which is one of your options. Should this product be bought or sold? And I'm suggesting to you that you have a think about tobacco.